But it's hard, because when you get close, wow. In Canada, Canadians, they know how difficult it is. I had just discussion with a friend of mine tonight. I said all those races that they do not let other people to come in their countries or become the part of man, they're all doomed. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. It's the necessity of times united. Countries like Canada, they survive and thrive and progress and become giants. Bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Engulf the whole planet. Anybody who doesn't want other people to come around because it's hard, it's inconvenient to sit down and see the guy who doesn't even eat like you. He doesn't speak like you. His feeling is different, Everything is annoying because it's just not convenient. We got to get rid of this laziness. Be like young people. You see how, as a young people, when we were young, all of us, we were so enthusiastic to see other people. Remember the word of Jesus Christ. You have to be like children, he says, if you want to go to the kingdom of God. Don't kill the child and the youth in you just because you are now 50 years old and tired of having different people around you. See the sacrifice of the Anglo-Saxons they made. And they call them racist. I don't know what definition of racism is there. These people, they come to Canada through this Atlantic, through those boats. God knows how many of them they died, how many of them get diseased. Come to a country, there's nothing in it. And when they established the country, very livable, nice and everything else, said, okay, let's let the Europeans come over. They shared it with Italians, with Germans. And then more of them, they come in, became a united Europe some times ago. They thought, why not to have Muslims here? And Japanese and Chinese. I know there have been a stumbling block around and says that, what are you talking about? In Canada we did this, Ukrainians and that, this and that. Sure, we did those things because we wanted to progress. A part of the progress is making mistakes. So Canadian did make mistakes. But they are not, they're apologizing for it. They're not saying that they were right. It's such a fast time actually. They come down and said, yeah, it was a mistake. But because of making those mistakes, we're not going to stop towards this progress of what we know is right. So, there all of a sudden when you become united and you accept the differences, you have to set the prejudice aside. English people must have put the prejudice aside. Otherwise, why would they bring all these other people in them? It's just a stereotype to call them racist. A stupid word towards them. Don't try to get me going that, oh yeah, they were kidnapping the black people. I know again, they did, but they are also the first nation that they criticized this and they set it aside. Nobody talks about the Muslim, that they were kidnapping the black people in Africa and selling it to the British people. They were all involved in it, much more than the white people. It was an atrocity committed by all of us. But they came here and they put that aside. They've accepted in the course of time that man and women are equal. Something is very hard. Why should I give my equality to the woman? The guy in Dubai was telling me that. I told him, then you will die. You become a very, very old dinosaur that cannot exist. Either accept the changes or you'll die. But accepting it is very, very hard. So, back to the original topic, that if we understand the unity that Baha'u'llah explained to us, from our past, from who we are as a human being, and coming together in the formula of Abdul-Baha, that it tells us what might happen. You might see people, they look at you as like an enemy. They might look at you, giving you poison. They might do all kinds of things to you, ignore you, ostracizing you. You just go opposite. Do not play that game. They give you fire. Just throw water under fire. Quench it down. If you do this, you gain a spiritual power called tolerance. Tolerance is a huge spiritual power. To accept somebody who is different around you, who is inconveniencing you. Not convenient to you. It's botheration to you. But you're tolerating it. That's a great spiritual attitude. Kindness comes out of it. How would you unite with somebody unless you really have the sense of kindness in you? That this black man might be the greatest man in the world. The pressure that was created in South Africa pressed and pressed and pressed the black man like a coal mine. And lo and behold, the diamond was formed in that mine. It's Nelson Mandela. It's the diamond of Africa. You see that? He came out of that pressure. So you have to show kindness in order to understand. Understanding, this is very, very difficult. Again, it's a huge spiritual quality. You have no understanding, you're lost. Information is not science. Science is not understanding. If you're informed about a lot of information, that does not help you to make this kitchen cabinet here. You can't make that TV. To be a scientist. But when you're a scientist, not necessarily you understand it. You might create a bomb instead. You might be a foolish scientist. Understanding is the highest quality, it's a spiritual quality. It's pure spiritual. It's nothing to do with the material power. This is the third one. So you become tolerant. The tolerance is there. Kindness becomes there. Understanding there. Another spiritual quality you get is patience. Because it's hard. Oh my God, it's hard. Very, very hard. I see sometimes I am, whether at the workplace or I'm talking to a, it is so difficult, my God, to be patient. Do you know the person is absolutely wrong, so stubborn, doesn't want to accept. And you know that you have to let him to experience. He experiences it, he loses it, he falls down. But at that point, you should not go tell him, didn't I tell you that? No, you tell him it's okay now. Let's just get up. Help him up. Tell him let's go and let's do it again. You know, what happened, it's okay. Many, many qualities, spiritual quality comes when a person decides to get into the action of uniting himself with other people. Sharing. You have to share what you have. Unity is this, eh? Canadians, they share actually their land, their country. No criticism to other nations. Japanese would do that. How many Chinese would do that? Would the Iranian allow other people to come to their country? Will the people in Saudi Arabia will do that? No. See? Canadian do. American do. Australian do. Even some people in Europe, people do. Mind you, Indians are not like that. In India, they're very sharing people. Their tolerance is great. They let everyone to go in their country. But some of the nations are difficult with them. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying it's a big task. Don't think it's easy to come and live with other people of different, values and everything else. It's very difficult. And of course, you get fairness, justice. That's a big, big balancing power. If you're not fair, you have no spiritual quality. And when you're uniting with people, differences, you end up being a fair person. You have to be. If not, the unity will not be taking place. So, I've spoken off on the subject of unity. My God, there are lots of tons of things to say about it. I just try to open up the subject for you. But this is the invention of Abdullah. No religion has given this this Will and Testament of Abdul-Baha. I read it for you. Go read the Will and Testament of Abdul-Baha to see how he's exuberant when he talks about this, that all the people be united with them. So amazing, this power of the unity is. When it comes together, it's all hydrogens. You get united, you get this DNA, life comes. Complicated things comes. It's actually the simplicity. If everything is united together, it just shows where we came from and how do we stay intact. So, I will be talking about a few other things that Baha'u'llah has created. No one knows those things. Unity is is not very ambiguous. A lot of people, they know it, but they don't have a mechanism how to get together, and why should they get together, or what's the philosophy behind it, and all that. This is fully explained in the Baha'i faith. All the benefits of it and the hardship that we have to go through. But next time I will speak about another machinery of Baha'u'llah, another device that helps us to gain lots of spiritual quality at one time. That is the teaching of the faith of God. And you teach Baha'i faith. Oh my God. You hit right on the target. No one knows what teaching is, because they're not Baha'is. And many Baha'is may not get engaged all the time in teaching too. But if you know what this is the biggest business you can get into. Business of teaching. Oh, you reach to then happiness unraveled by any material means. Nothing. I will be also speaking about another thing, which we called pioneering. That is also not in other religions. Some. But pioneering is another act invented by Baha'u'llah that we Baha'is, fortunately, and other Baha'is, unfortunately, they don't know about it. If they were Baha'i and they pioneer from one land to another, they could get lots of power. And at the end, I will bring the things that Baha'u'llah has explained in the hidden words and other tablets. They're things that causes us to get spiritual power. And there are things he says that absolutely we should not do. I want to speak about that too. But for now, that suffices. May Baha'u'llah be with you, the glory of God. May the spirit of goodness, with Canadian tolerance, to be with all of you, all the people of the planet. Till the next time.